The cop was following a procedure.
Never said I oppose fracking. Show the tape. Put it on your website. Put it on the website.
Live from Clark Studios in Rochester, New York. Broadcasting around the world. You're listening to You Made It Political, where the voice of the keyboard warrior is finally heard and the arguments presented are put to the political test. And now, here's your host, Matt Clark.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Thank you for joining me here today on Wednesday. It's hump day. The week's almost over. Bear with me, people. We're going to get through another week of insanity brought to you by coronavirus, the Biden administration, the left, and pretty much everybody who sits on that side of the aisle. Yes, that's right. Every single week seems to get crazier and crazier. And quite often I'm like walking around asking myself, is this really what the world's come to? I mean, it's almost as if America and the rest of the world has gone completely nuts over this coronavirus situation. Well, today, we're going to have a little bit fun with it. We're actually going to show you some Biden bloopers. Biden, as we all know, let's be honest, guys, cognitively, this guy is going downhill fast. I mean, it's not even funny anymore. It's actually really sad. The other day, I don't know if you caught him tripping up the flight of stairs, going up to Air Force One, but he can't even really walk anymore without an aide close by. This is the president of the United States, and it's getting really, really bad. We've got Biden bloopers for you. We're also going to talk mask Nazis. The mask Nazis are in full effect. I don't know where you guys are in the world or the country, but here in upstate New York, we're having a little bit of a problem. And over in the UK, they're having even worse of a problem. And now you get punched and knocked the F out if you get up in somebody's face. So, mask Nazis, I'm going to have to forewarn you, you might be a little bit careful when you go and lecture somebody if you're not happy that they're not wearing a mask, because people are starting to punch you now because they don't really want to put up with your BS anymore. We're also going to discuss how divided America really is. We all know Biden and his bullshit cry for unity is nothing more than a ploy to try to convince the Democrats that we finally had a wonderful and very nice person in charge, but it's all BS. It's all smoke and mirrors. These guys are railroading America into the ground, and they do nothing but continue to destroy this country, one executive order after the next. It's so bad. This is how bad it is. It's so bad that Biden has not invited Senator Minority Leader, or the Senate Minority Leader, Mitch McConnell, to the White House yet. Since January 20th, he hasn't even invited the GOP leader, Mitch McConnell, to the White House. This is how bad things are getting. But first, before we start the show, let's head over to the Babylon Bee for some good old fun Biden bloopers.
I'm Trevor Anderson.
And I'm Ethan Nicole. This is the Babylon Bee News Desk. President Joe Biden was seen falling up the stairs 3 times while boarding Air Force One. Let's watch the clip.
I had no idea Biden wore banana peel shoes. Welcome to Biden's Funniest Home Videos. You know, Trevor's favorite. Oh, I'm sorry, you didn't understand me? That's okay. I was speaking Bidenese. Here, take a look.
We're going to create a new bio-based multi-manufacturing job environment.
You know, Biden videos are our bread and butter here at Biden's Funniest Home Videos. It's right there in the name. But sometimes there's a video so funny that it trumps our own title. Let me demonstrate how I dry my back with the towel after a bath. There, that's it, see? Now my back is dry. And now, 3 seconds of Joe Biden telling black people what makes them black or not.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, And you ain't black.
Oh, look! A member of the audience. Hi, what's your name?
Patrick?
Hi, Patrick. We're gonna play a little game. I'm gonna show you a clip, and when it stops, you have to guess what comes next, okay?
Okay.
Take a look.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm happy to take questions if that's what I'm supposed to do, Nance, whatever you want me to do.
So, what happens next?
He answers a question.
Let's find out.
Whatever you want me to do.
No, I'm sorry. He does not answer a question. He just goes away. Thanks for playing. It's time to announce the winner of tonight's $10,000 grand prize. And the winner is... Biden Falls Up! Sent in by Kamala Harris. How's it feel to win $10,000, Kamala? That laughter will echo in my nightmares forever. Well, that's it for tonight's Biden's Funniest Home Videos. Thanks for watching.
So, guys, it's almost not even laughable anymore. I mean, I feel bad for the guy. It's not only is it really embarrassing for the United States to be going through what we're dealing with right now, but if it weren't for the fact that the Biden administration weren't lying to all of us over the fact that everything's fine. I mean, we know it's not fine. Look, the guy can't even walk up the flight of Air Force One steps anymore. And we know that cognitively Biden's rapidly declining, but they deny it. And that's what's really frustrating everybody right now is the fact that they're denying that he's getting worse, the fact that he can barely walk without aides right there to his rescue. I mean, we've seen videos of Biden walking around with, you know, people kind of very closely by him. And I think it's more to make sure that he doesn't fall over. He's constantly in a daze. And then when I see videos like this of him tripping up over Air Force or going up Air Force One, I don't know whether to laugh or cry anymore because it's really sad. So Biden's not doing well. We all know it. We're waiting for the Democrats to just admit it. It's an ongoing problem. We look very weak to our foreign enemies and allies right now. I mean, it doesn't look good amongst everything else that's going on in the country that we don't even have a president that can kind of lead from a very stable mind. So things are getting bad. So mask Nazis, the mask Nazis are out of control. I mean, we all know that. They're out of control, but this is how bad things are getting over in the UK. You got to be careful, mask Nazis, because I'm going to tell you right now, we're up to our ears in stress and at breaking point right now with coronavirus. And if you piss off the wrong person, if you go up and try to pull your little liberal mask Nazi BS on the wrong person, you might just get punched in the face and knocked out by this guy right here.
Look, one of us are wearing masks. You see one without a mask.
I have seen a lot of staff on platform 15. None of them. I've got you on film. I've got you on film. Excuse me, I've got you on film.
So as you can see here, he clearly just dropped this dude, drops him. Let's take a look at that. I wish we had a nice replay again. I'm going to rewind it. Clearly, he says something that he doesn't like, and he just socks him, just knocks him right out, and just, I mean, this guy's like on the ground, bleeding all over the place, bleeding. He's decked him. So clearly, he said something that he didn't like. And this gentleman who didn't have a mask on, who was minding his own business, was with his daughter, pushing his little baby in the stroller, just minding my own business, I'm coming through, and all of a sudden, somebody feels the need to say something to him, and he obviously took it too far, because this gentleman walks up to him, the masked Nazi, and drops him right on his ass, just punches him square in the face. I mean, this guy's on the ground, straight up on the ground. You can't even I mean, he's not even moving. Let's take another look at this. It's outrageous. And this is what's going to happen more and more now, people, if you aren't careful and you don't mind your own business. You're just going to get knocked out by the wrong person. Let's take another look.
I have seen a lot of staff on platform 15. None of them.
I mean, just drops him on the ground. And look, they're going to show him in a second. This guy is out cold.
Excuse me, I've got you on film.
And he doesn't even care that he's on camera. I mean, this is how like out of control things are right now. This is how pissed off and stressed out people are right now. They don't even care if they're caught on camera knocking you the F out for sticking your nose in their business anymore. I mean, look at this guy. He's done. KO'd. Lights out. This is probably going to be the last time he ever gets up in anybody's face again. Now, I don't condone violence of any sort. I really don't. But the fact of the matter is here that people are going to get hurt soon, not minding their own business. And we have to remember that it's not your job to play mask police. It's nobody's job. It's not your job. It's not my job. And somewhere along the lines, Americans have forgotten how to mind their own business. Because we don't know why people aren't wearing masks. We have no idea. They might have an illness or a disease. They might have some sort of anxiety, claustrophobia. We have no idea. And quite honestly, according to HIPAA laws, they don't need to tell you a goddamn thing. Yet these predominantly white liberals feel the need to go around and play mask Nazi. And I do say white liberals because I don't really see too many other people getting up in the faces of those who aren't wearing a mask. I don't see any conservatives. I haven't really seen many videos of black people getting all bent out of shape. They've got other problems to worry about right now, understandably. I don't think not wearing a mask is one of them. So America is now playing mask police, mask Nazi. And we just saw a video over in the UK, and they're a lot rougher over there. They have, I mean, I've lived in the UK. You say something wrong to the wrong person, they'll just flat out knock you out on camera and not care. Clearly, like you just saw. So why is everybody running around playing mask police? What gave Americans the authority? I mean, you never saw them care in the past about reporting incidences that they saw on the street. I mean, I never saw that. I never saw Americans get all gung-ho prior to COVID about wanting to be G.I. Joes and run the streets rogue and report every little incident that they see that didn't look right. I didn't see it before. So why now? The stores have a right, private businesses have a right to enforce their rules, their mandates. But that's up to the business, not up to you as a customer to run around and go find people who aren't wearing a mask. But why is everybody so obsessed? Why are they so obsessed with taking their frustration or being rude to everybody else? Why is that? It's because they finally, for the first time in their life, got a little bit of power. They have a little bit of they feel like they've been given a little bit of dominance or authority. And they now want to exercise that and take it out on anybody who doesn't wear a mask. So finally, for the first time in their life, do they feel like a big man, a big person? They got a little bit of power. Who knows? Maybe these people were beat up in school. Maybe they were the class clown. Maybe they were a loser. I don't know. I don't know what's got into a lot of these people, but it's almost like for the first time in their life, they get to feel powerful and big, and they get to run around and get up in the face of everybody else who's not wearing a mask. And for the first time in their life, nobody can do a thing about it. But it's going to get them in trouble. It's going to get them hurt if they say the wrong thing to the wrong person. People are stressed out today. They're at breaking point over coronavirus, and they don't need mask Nazis telling them how to live their life anymore. As a matter of fact, more people are standing up to them. More people are walking into these stores maskless. They've had enough. So the reason that I've kind of noticed why most people are even wearing the damn mask is because they lack courage to take it off. I'm in a lot of groups, and we have a lot of fun in these groups. There's a group that I launched a few weeks ago. It's booming. It's awesome. It's a fun group. It's called Cancel the Mask or I Cancel You. And I hear stories all the time of people who report back to us after going into a store for the first time maskless. And they're like, I did it. I took the mask off and it was awesome. And they feel normal again. They feel like $1,000,000. And I'm so glad that groups like mine have given people the confidence to go into these stores and take the mask off. Because you'd be surprised how little attention you'd actually get if you just had the courage. Which leads me to my point. The reason so many people don't take the mask off is not because they're scared to death of COVID. It's because they lack courage. And if they see you doing it, they're going to gain the confidence that they've desperately been seeking. And they too will finally start to take the mask off. See, that's the biggest problem that we face in America right now. America has developed a psychological illness. It's like the mask is now our adult pacifier. We're so used to it being on our face that we're scared to death of taking it off. Well, the only reason that you're really scared of taking the mask off is not because you're scared of coronavirus. It's because you're scared of what other people are going to think. And that's just human nature. We don't want confrontation as humans. We don't like awkward situations. And being the first to take the mask off is an awkward feeling. It's going to bring you a lot of attention. But I'm telling you guys, once you do it, watch what happens. Watch other people in the store start to take their mask off too and follow suit. And don't worry about the mask Nazis. It's none of their business. I've got documents of legal write-ups that you can gladly show store owners if you feel like taking the plunge and walking in without your mask. HIPAA protects us from having to disclose any of our medical information. As far as anybody's concerned, you have a medical situation that you don't legally have to disclose to anyone. So mind your own effing business. That's all you have to say. You'll be surprised that if you try it and you go in. Is it selfish of me to try to encourage people to take off their mask? No, of course not. Because it's been a year now. And vaccines, we don't know if they're even going to work. Masks, we definitely know don't work. We need to take these masks off of us so we can finally get the masks off of these kids. And it does not give anybody, store owners, managers, employees, it does not give anybody the right to be rude. Just because there's a mandate, it doesn't mean you get to walk around like a little Hitler being rude and obnoxious to your customers. And I've seen so much of that lately. I've seen enough of it. And I've yelled back at customers before. I said, listen, I don't give a shit who you think you are. You don't talk to me like that. You don't talk to my family like that. Nobody deserves to be treated that way. If these customers are so scared to death and the mandate in their store, the policy is 100% you got to wear a mask, that's fine. I'll respect it. But you treat me with respect as a customer. And that's what pisses me off and so many other people. And that's what's kind of why we're all to breaking point today. So it's a big problem and you got to be careful whose face you're going to get up in because you too might just get knocked out. So today I posted something kind of, on the whole mask issue and the fact that I'm starting to think the whole world's going a little bit loony. I posted on my Facebook page because I was genuinely curious and I wanted to know, am I the only one who thinks America's going freaking crazy right now? Am I the only one that thinks America has a mental illness around coronavirus? So I posted on my Facebook page this morning. I said, if there's one thing I've learned from the scandemic, it's that most of you should be on meds. I mean, really, it's like, I kind of look around and I'm like, I feel like I'm in a zombie movie sometimes. I feel like I'm the only one who's semi-normal. Have you noticed that? You walk around store to store, or even out in the public, or you're in the park. You're outside in the damn park. And you're like, why is everybody walking around with a freaking mask on? What is going on? I'm starting to think, and the way that people are acting now, the craziness that I'm witnessing on a day-to-day basis, it's kind of like America has reached a whole new level of insanity, and I'm starting to think that it's drawn out the crazy out of people. Like, it's really kind of highlighted who's crazy, who's going a little bit nuts. And I'm starting to think that a lot of you guys, or at least those of you who continue to buy into this whole scandemic situation, or just kind of bow down to Cuomo in New York or Newsom in California, I'm starting to think that you guys really all should be on meds. I mean, that's what it's kind of coming to. I think that a lot of you might really have mental illnesses that you have to have checked out. So I posted this. I said, if there's one thing I learned from the scandemic, it's that most of you should be on meds. I stand by that. I really think so. And the comments are great. I always post this stuff because, one, out of wit and humor, and to kind of break the ice over, every day, because America is too goddamn tense right now. I mean, we need icebreakers. We need to have a laugh over the situation. If we can't laugh right now, we're doomed. We're already on a one-way track over the cliff to never return because of Democratic governors and now the Biden administration. So I posted this on my wall today. Jason wrote, people tell me that. Okay, so meaning people actually tell him he's the crazy one. People tell me that, but it's not for what you'd think. Some say I'm a paranoid freak and need them. So sad for all the sheep. I mean, that is what's going on right now. And I'm starting to see the sheep movement grow and grow and grow. It's like freaking me out how many sheep there are out there right now. And I hate calling them sheep, but it's like, guys, it's been a year now. What is going on? Renee says, haha, I am so jealous at times of the numb blind folk. Too dumb to even know they are brainwashed. Maybe they are super medicated. And she raises a good point. There's times where I wish I was as naive as the next person. I wish I was as clueless about what's going on. I really do. I wish I was naive. I wish I didn't do my homework. I wish I didn't research all day to try to get to the bottom of what's really going on as far as all this insanity is concerned. I wish I wasn't so clued in to the BS, to the hypocrisy, because then maybe I too would be walking around, moping around all day thinking, oh, everything's just fine, and I wouldn't be so damn frustrated over this situation. That's kind of what it's come to. I really wish I wasn't so clued in. Teresa says, honestly, many have been put on meds due to the pandemic or the scandemic. Yeah. Look how many people are on meds right now because of how scared they are, or they're buying into the fact that they need 1 million different pills to cope with COVID. Monica says, I wish I was medicated. Maybe the world would seem less crazy to me. Exactly what I was just talking about. I do. I kind of wish I was medicated. I wish, I wasn't as clued in, or I wish I was as clueless. So she says, I wish I was medicated. Maybe the world would seem less crazy to me, and I could possibly understand what the hell they are trying to do. I mean, really, what are they trying to do? Why do they keep banging on about, over coronavirus? What is the real hidden agenda here? I'd like to know. What's the real hidden agenda? Well, it's the lockdowns continue. People are now getting their stimulus checks. It's like, here's some more socialist crack money. We're on day 500 million of mask wearing. Biden wants us to wear a mask for 100 more days, even though there's no scientific evidence whatsoever. We now have the kids out of school for a year now, and the teachers' unions and the teachers want nothing to do with them going back. I mean, this is like freaking crazy town that we're dealing with. It's like a scene straight out of the Twilight Zone. Stop to think, people, what the real hidden agenda is. Why all the insanity? Why the madness? So yes, the world's gone crazy. I honestly think most of Americans do need to get on some sort of medication so they can finally get over the anxiety in order to take off the goddamn mask. Because remember, life was normal before a mask. This is not normal. I'm sick of seeing Easter bunnies now coming up on Easter that have masks on their face. That is not normal. I think it's sick. I think it's twisted. And I see brands normalizing the situation. Fauci and the Biden administration trying to normalize the situation. I see kids coming home with children's books trying to normalize the situation. And I'm looking around me thinking, what the hell? This is not normal. Why is half America buying into this BS? What is going on that I don't know about? I'd sure like to get to the bottom of it. So there's nothing normal about the situation. Please tell me that you guys watching the show agree with me here. Please tell me that this is getting out of control now and that we've had enough. And to be honest, I'm going in. I'm going in maskless from now on. I've made the decision. I've drummed up the courage. My son, he goes to soccer practice now, maskless. The only kid out of like 23 players on the team not wearing a mask. You'd think the other parents would be like, you know what? Maybe I should get the mask off my kid. Well, you better believe I'm going to keep pushing. And I'm going to tell the parents, come on, guys, join us. It's not awkward. It's not abnormal. The only thing abnormal is the fact that all your kids are still wearing a goddamn mask while playing sports. That's the only thing that's not normal. Guys, stay with us. We'll be right back. When we come back, we're going to show you a story highlighting just how ununited the Biden administration really is and how their whole cry for unity is once again a complete sham. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to You Made It Political, where the voice of the keyboard warrior is finally heard, and the arguments presented are put to the political test. And now, here's your host, Matt Clark.
So, in the beginning of the show, we showed you some really good, funny video of the Biden bloopers. If you haven't seen that or you're joining us late, go back and check it out. We also showed you a very, very crazy video of a Brit over in the UK knocking out a masked Nazi straight flat on his back. So if you haven't seen it after the show, we'll post it up on our Facebook page. You guys want to see that. The point is, masked Nazis, back off. You got to really leave everybody alone. Okay, we've had it. We're at breaking point right now, and you two might just get knocked the F out if you don't mind your own business. I think that's kind of the message that this gentleman told this one masked Nazi over in a UK grocery store. So what's going on over the Biden administration? Well, we have more ununity. The Biden administration continues to highlight just how divided they wish to remain. It's out of control right now, and the whole thing is a complete farce. Biden, he never cared once about unity. We all knew that. I mean, are you surprised, guys? Are you actually surprised that Biden continues to lie? I mean, he didn't do anything in 47 years on the Senate. He hasn't done anything except for destroy this country in his first 60 days. In just 2 months, let's think about this for a second. In just 2 months, what has Biden managed to do? Well, he's managed to give us the worst illegal border crisis we've ever experienced in United States history. We've now had 2 mass shootings. 2 mass shootings. The kids still aren't back in school. I mean, the list goes on. It's out of control right now what Biden has put us through. We have a raging border crisis. We have domestic terrorism now back on the scene. We just found out that the Colorado shooter is a Muslim, Ahmed Alisa, apparently a Trump hater, There's videos, so we can't even play the white supremacist card here. So it's no surprise. They don't want to work with Republicans. They continue to slam the door shut. And here's the worst part. This is what I couldn't believe this. Here's Biden basically telling America with his actions that he doesn't give a shit about anybody but himself and his own administration. Senator Minority Leader McConnell says he has not been invited to the White House yet. It's almost been 60 days, and the GOP leader, the Senate Minority Leader, still has not been invited to the White House. If that's not a slap in the face by the Democrats, then I don't know what is. And as a Democrat, you should be equally as furious as I am, because there's nothing unifying about this situation. So he hasn't been invited to the White House, which is insane. You know, you'd think you'd want to invite somebody as important as Mitch McConnell here. We're not talking about, you know, Josh Hawley or Marjorie Taylor Greene or some freshman Lauren Boebert, Congresswoman out of Colorado. You know, we're not talking about freshman congressmen and women here. We're talking about GOP leaders that have been in the Senate for decades, that the Biden administration is just flogging off and proving once again that they don't care about unity at all. So what exactly is going on here? Well, Senator Minority Leader McConnell says he has not been invited to the White House. So clearly there's no unity here. The Democrats aren't even trying to pretend there's any unity here. McConnell said Biden administration is just straight up not interested in anything bipartisan or in the political center. And we saw that in the first week of Biden signing 42 executive orders. So I don't care what speech Biden decided to give on January 20th, because it was all BS. There's no cry for unity. Biden is everything but the people's president. So GOP leader Mitch McConnell said he hasn't been invited to the White House or even spoken to President Biden on the phone. I mean, that's a slap in the face, guys. They have zero respect whatsoever for the Republican Party. Zero. Since Democrat took office on January 20th. McConnell says, I haven't been invited to the White House. So far, this administration is not interested in doing anything on a bipartisan basis or in the political center. They'd be more than happy to pick off a few of our members. McConnell also pointed to the $1.9 trillion that passed the House and Senate with no Republican support. Nothing, not a single person supported that bill. As an example of how the White House is appealing to the hard left. This is a very far left radical administration that we have. And I've heard people who used to argue against me about the fact that, oh, well, they're not far left. Biden's a moderate. He's not a moderate. I don't care what you guys say. Biden is far from moderate. He is hard, far radical left in everything that they've done, including letting in all the illegal immigrants, including letting 300 asylum seekers per day come into this country and stay here before their applications are even approved, is very far left. They continue to bury their head in their sand, and they continue to tell us that there is no crisis at the border. So McConnell's furious, understandably. He hasn't been invited once. Let's see what the American people have to say about the insanity of a selfish and power-hungry administration that does not care about the American people. See, if they can, and not even Democrats, okay? They lied to the black community for their votes. They haven't done a damn thing to help them build their black communities since BLM stopped rioting. They completely conned them. And they've lied to all their voters as well, promising them that they'd be a president for the people. And they've done everything but that. So rhinos who voted for Biden, I hope you guys feel ashamed right now. I hope you see just how much damage you've done to this country, because you are pretty much the reason that we now have this moron in charge of the United States right now. A guy who can't even walk up a flight of steps, a guy who can't even get through a press conference, a guy who hasn't even scheduled a press news briefing yet to take questions. This is how bad of a situation we all are in. So what do the American people have to say about this situation? Diane says, wonder how much longer they can keep him hiding. They really think we can't see he's incapable of holding any office? It's exactly what's going on. Kimberly says, did he really believe that they want to have anything to do with Republicans? They have no intent in reuniting the parties. Never have. It's their way or no way. Should have listened to Trump. And Rhinos, like I said, this is on you. This entire situation is on you. You're the one who have caused this. We all knew the Democrats were going to vote for Biden, but you're the ones who lost us the Senate, the House, and now the White House. So I hope you guys are happy with the horrific decision that you've made. We're now almost about to lose our right to bear arms, and we're also about to lose our right to ever win another fair election again. H.R. 1 is going to destroy any chance of hope or any chance in hell of us ever winning an election again. And H.R. 127 out of Texas is going to destroy the Second Amendment, all because you wanted or didn't want a president who was hard or who was just a little mean. Well, you guys have just voted for a president who's now destroying America. Melania says that's because the liberal left has no interest in hearing from the right. They talk up bipartisanship, inclusiveness. That's a funny one. Inclusiveness. Guys, that's another joke. This whole equity crap that they're spewing out of Washington, they don't care. Equity means that we all get first place. Okay, Biden, you want equity? Then I want to see 10 presidents co-leading with you. That's equity. Oh, you're not willing to give up that sort of power. Okay, I thought so. So equity's a sham, because as long as we're competitive by nature, you'll never have anything truly equitable in life. Equality, yes. Equity, it's a joke. It's not going to happen. So the Democrats continue to lie. They talk up bipartisanship, inclusiveness, transparency, but it is all just lip service because they do none of it themselves. They have only one agenda: to stay in power by continuing accusations of racism, which is total BS. They play the race card every story and opportunity that they have. They want to stay in power by continuing acquisitions of racism, handing out citizenship of those that they will vote for them, and canceling anybody and everything they find fault with or do not agree with. Shameful bunch of con artists. That is exactly what is going on. We all know it. They have zero intention of supporting anything Republican. They're going to kick us to the curb. They already have. And guess what, America? You too, whether you voted for him or not, are going to also get kicked to the curb. So, mask Nazis, be very careful while you're out there playing mask police, because as you have just seen in the beginning of the show, people aren't going to stand for it anymore. Be very careful. That video should be a warning to you guys. And a divided America? No chance, at least not for the next 4 years. Guys, stay tuned. Kimberly's Revolution is up next. If you haven't seen Kimberly's Revolution, please check it out. It's an amazing show. Go to Kimberly Ray on Facebook and look up her show, Kimberly's Revolution. You're not going to want to miss this next upcoming show. Right now, after my show, here today at 4 Eastern Standard Time, they're talking about why the kids really aren't back in school. Tune in, Kimberly Ray, Kimberly's Revolution, coming up now. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 3.
Thanks for listening to You Made It Political with Matt Clark. Be sure to like, follow, or subscribe to the show, or leave us a review on iTunes. And if you like our show or want to know more, check out YouMadeItPolitical.com.